everybody, this is Ed and KJ. So like I said at the end of episode 24, we had to split this episode up into two, and unfortunately Faith couldn't join us for part 2, but Lila was here to join us, so that unfamiliar voice that you're hearing is Lila, who is joining Moira and KJ, and we were so glad to have her, and we had so much to say about Women of Marvel. This episode, we cover a few other characters who are in the MCU, and we also just discuss some more general things about women and their interaction in the MCU, both on the screen and off the screen, so that was super great. I hope you guys all really enjoyed this episode. Just wanted to remind you guys about our guest Lila, and that's who you're hearing, and we hope that you love her as much as we've come to love her.
We should move on and talk a little bit about Maria Hill.
Yeah. I love Maria.
Me too.
It took me forever to learn her name, which I think is dumb. I think that they just don't talk about her enough. She's just kind of always there.
Mm-hmm.
Like a familiar face. And I think, it's dumb that she didn't have any actual storylines for a long time.
Absolutely.
I literally didn't know her name for the longest time, but I think that she's actually amazing. She's one of the most important characters in the universe.
Exactly.
Girl be running S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah.
And I assume now she's also doing something now that S.H.I.E.L.D. is defunct or whatever.
Yeah.
She's just Fury.
Yeah, she just does whatever needs to be done, basically.
Yeah, she's Nick Fury's number 2, and as we know, Nick Fury is the most terrifying man in the world.
Love Samuel L. Jackson.
Yes.
Me too, so much. No, I love her very much. I think it's so sad that they took so long to, for people to recognize her name and stuff, because we got Agent Coulson so fast, and then they killed him, and then they're like, well, no, we want to keep him, so he got his own TV show. So
that's right.
Why did we
his own TV show?
Yeah, that literally was all fandom, because we can tell that the Marvel Universe listens to the fandom based off of the fact that they're like, we'll just kill Agent Coulson, give him a cool death. And then people refuse to accept it, and then we got a 7th season show out of it.
Yeah.
So they know what the fandom wants. They just pick and choose what they want to keep.
Yeah.
And it took them so long to let Maria Hill have her own plot line, and we get to see her actually be amazing. But I'm so excited for her.
Question regarding Maria Hill.
Okay.
That's where the fuck is she right now?
I know.
We don't know.
I have no idea.
We haven't seen her since the snap, technically.
After the events of wasn't Homecoming? Oh my god, Far From Home. Was she not there?
Yeah, she was.
Was she in the Nick Fury scene? Was she present?
I'm pretty sure she was with Nick throughout that whole thing.
In Spider-Man.
Yes,
I do remember that.
And then in the mid/post credits, it came out it wasn't them.
No, yeah, it was this.
So where the fuck is she? Is she
Nick, I'm assuming.
Is she also on vacation in space, or what is happening? Where is she? It's been so long. I want to know.
Who's checking on her to make sure she's still alive?
Is she still alive? If so, where is she? If so, why haven't we seen her? Someone please have answers for me.
I just think she's with Nick. Wherever Nick Fury goes, she follows, or she's a few inches behind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I think that he might be the most terrifying man in the universe, but I literally think he could not get through his day without her.
No, not in the slightest.
I think he would show up to the wrong meetings, and it would just, every scene would just be that scene where he's in the car and talking to the AI in the car, and everything's broken except for the air conditioning. That would be his whole life without Maria.
He still ended up getting out of the car, but
What a great scene. But
oh my god, it was so iconic. I love it.
Yeah.
Okay. I personally don't have much to say about her. You guys kind of covered it. I think she's great.
Yeah, she's an underutilized character.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's super powerful. I think she's got a good head on her shoulders, and again, Nick Fury trusts her. She's her. Oh my god, she is his right hand lady. It's amazing. I cannot wait to see her just actually go bonkers on somebody. I'm waiting for it.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so do we want to move on and talk about Valkyrie?
Sure.
Yes, I do.
I love it.
I think Valkyrie is such a delight.
Mm-hmm.
She's a Phase 4 character.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
She was introduced in Thor Ragnarok, the 3rd Thor movie, which was one of the last movies before Infinity War. But she's such a delight. So the Valkyries are kind of the Asgardian Dora Milaje. I hope I know I said it wrong that time. Because I'm not looking at it on the screen. I literally can't say it. It's fine.
Yeah.
But the Valkyries are like an all-female like force. Valkyrie that we know is the only one left of her group.
Yeah.
But like honestly, she's such a good character. She's funny. She's got a great backstory. I hope that she's back, and I hope that we see more of her. She's really risen to be like into a leadership role. I enjoy her. I think she's a delight.
You want to know what I want to see? Just because she does have that leadership mantle now, as like, I guess she's queen of Asgard now. She's ruler of Asgard. But I want to see the inner workings. I want to see Asgard on Earth.
Day in life of New Asgard,
yes,
absolutely.
Yep, honestly, Wanda should have gone there. No one would have got hurt. It would have been.
Oh my god, that's a good point.
Just go, honey.
That's a good point. Right? That is a really good point. But I just want to see more screen time, honestly, from her. I'm just looking at my notes here. I wrote specifically, I need more behind the scenes of how she was taking care of New Asgard and Asgardian survivors.
I think she's a really interesting character too. Sorry not to interrupt. That's just,
no, it's okay.
As we all know, Thor had some substance abuse issues arise between Infinity War and Endgame.
Yeah.
And we know that Valkyrie also used to struggle, so I think it would have been nice to see some more scenes between Valkyrie and Thor, where she honestly just, like, tries to help him a little bit, because, honestly, speaking of people that need a hug.
Yeah. Accurate.
But, I just think that, like, Valkyrie has this, like, also damaged past, and, like, this, like, overcoming of this, like, addiction issue that we don't see a lot of in the MCU. And she seemed to be in a pretty good place, all things considered, in Endgame, and honestly, I hope she's doing okay.
Same.
Sorry, say more stuff.
It's okay. I also noticed, and I'm just now thinking of it, I didn't write it on my notes, in Endgame, she pulled up on a Pegasus, which I know that was like one of their vehicles, like as Valkyries, like that was like their main vehicle.
I know where that Pegasus come from.
Where did it come from? I'm so confused.
I think there was honestly a couple in that battle, and I don't know where they came from. No answers.
Yeah, there were a few Valkyries in that battle. I'm like, where
did they come from?
Yeah, there's okay.
I mean, it's been 5 years, so I guess maybe she's had time to get. But where did the Pegasus come from?
How'd she get out into space, bro? Where does she go? Like, was Nat just like, yeah, here you go? Like, there are too many plot holes, and there's a lot to talk about, especially with WandaVision. Oh my god. But I'm not gonna dive into that.
When we're officially done recording, we'll dive into that.
Yeah. But yeah, I just want more Valkyrie. I think, and and I don't see her as a love interest to anyone.
No.
She is. I think she's got a lot of potential. And
and Tessa Thompson's been a wonderful addition to the cast too.
Absolutely.
I'm very excited to see what they do with her character, and I hope to God they do.
I really enjoyed her interactions with Mark Ruffalo a lot. I think that they had really good on-screen chemistry as a comedic duo.
Yeah,
they were amazing.
No, absolutely, that was great. I feel like I haven't seen enough of her yet, but everything you guys both said was like what I had written down for like what I want for her.
I still can't believe I haven't watched Thor Ragnarok. That's wild, Moira.
Okay, so interesting fact.
Sorry,
I went to watch it this morning, and I have watched it twice.
Oh my god!
I just it was gone in the back of my brain.
That's a mood.
I think that might be worse, Moira. I think I'm more offended.
I'm sorry. I've now seen it 3 times. I watched it again. I love it.
It is great movie.
Yeah, there was too many movies that they all meshed together, and I was remembering scenes as if they were from a different movie.
I mean, that is fair, but also, like, how dare you?
Oh, I love it. Okay.
Yeah, Taika did a really great job with that movie.
Yeah.
It was good. So I'm going to move on, and we're going to talk about Peggy Carter, who my door.
Yeah, Peggy Carter was an underrated character. Almost somewhat remained an underrated character because she deserved, like, 3 more seasons of show.
Yeah, absolutely.
Phil Coulson's an okay character, but, like, he spawned a 7-season show, and I'm just saying, like, Peggy could not, and should not have been forced to do it in 2.
No, she had so much more potential. They could have done so much more. And I feel like people who haven't watched Agent Carter don't appreciate her because she was such a two-dimensional character in the like movie universe.
Yeah.
They didn't actually bother to make her more than that. Anything other than the like a TV show and that one movie.
Yeah, we just talked about her quite a bit in episode 21 because we talked about her sidekick, Edwin Jarvis. But honestly, Peggy's amazing.
I don't have much to say about Peggy just because I only have seen her role from the first Avenger, Captain America, not like the Avengers movie, just for people listening. Yeah. But I don't have much to say. I mean, I hope her and Steve had a happy life. That's about it.
I don't like that Steve went back for her.
Neither do I.
I hate it so much. She has a really good love interest in Agent Carter, who's much better.
Yeah.
And that's who she was with whenever Steve went into the ice. When Steve comes back, she was like married. She had a whole life with him.
Yeah.
We saw him a little bit in the Endgame scene where he was back in like her office or whatever in the 70s. Like, honestly, he deserved better. That guy, that poor guy, what happened to him when Steve went back in time?
I don't know.
So many plot holes.
No, like, they completely destroyed what they did with Agent Carter by putting him back in time. And I'm like, well, okay.
I like that they kind of were always like, I'm fine if, like, Peggy was always, like, a little bit in love with Steve, and I'm fine if, like, Steve was always a little bit in love with Peggy. That was fine, you know? They had a real connection, and they got torn apart from each other for 70 years, and that's okay. Like, I'm okay that they were still in love with each other, but, like, also she went on to fall in love with someone else, and how dare you take that away for her?
Exactly.
Like, she had, like, a whole family, bro.
Yeah. Also, Steve kissed Peggy's niece, and now Peggy's niece would be his niece, and
it's still
already gross because he didn't know that they were related. But
so gross.
I don't think he ever would have kissed her if he knew that Peggy was her aunt the whole time. Like, I literally don't think
he wouldn't have.
No. Why? They didn't need to put that in at all. I'm so angry about it still. Even though I do like Sharon Carter.
Yeah, Sharon's fun.
I think she's a good character.
I'm really excited. It sounds like she's going to be in the what's it called? Sorry, my brain's blanking. With Bucky and Sam.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she was in the trailer So
I'm excited.
I hope that we're gonna actually see her. I love all these little shows because we're getting so many characters.
I'm personally there's not much to Sharon, so I can't say that I don't like her. I don't care for her though.
That's fair. Like the only thing you've seen is her kiss Steve Rogers, and that was about it. And like I hate it.
Very uncomfortable.
She did immediately jump on board with them in when they were taking over S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah, that is true.
She did hold them like some dudes at gunpoint. Like she was like, "Oh,
I do support.
Oh, something's happening. Oh, it's Steve and Nat. Okay, yeah, I'm on board."
Yeah,
I get it, and like,
but yeah, I agree. There hasn't been much to her character, but I was excited to see that she was gonna be in this upcoming project because I hope that we're gonna get more to her character.
We have a chance to like her for real.
Yeah, we didn't even put her on this list because there wasn't much to say. We mostly only care about her literally because Peggy's her aunt, and that one time she kissed Steve. But
yep,
accurate. Okay.
Speaking of people who popped up randomly, I was so excited to see Darcy Lewis pop up in WandaVision. We literally haven't seen her since Thor 2.
Same.
So long.
Which is not a great movie. Thor: Dark World is low on my list.
That movie, the only thing that resides from that movie is the fact that Jane was just so like intrigued, just like, I'm gonna touch this cube, and everything went sideways. Like I was like, oh, just because somebody wanted to touch a Lego block.
This is something I've said about the MCU to Moira before, and it's something that people say a lot about Harry Potter is the MCU and J.K. Rowling do this thing. When they make a bad installment, they then make things important. Things that happen in it become really important. For example, Age of Ultron and Thor: Dark World, they're on the lower end for most Marvel fans. Most Marvel fans rank those pretty low overall. I mean, there's so many films. Some of them have to be at the bottom.
Very true.
Yeah. But, it's pretty widely accepted. I know there's some people that like at least Age of Ultron, but, like... but it's the same thing as, like, Chamber of Secrets is generally seen as like the weakest Harry Potter movie. But then when we get to the end game and like the WandaVision and everything, it's like, joke's on you. All this shit that you didn't like, yeah, that's the most important shit. It's the foundation upon which we've built this whole conflict. So then you have to, at least acknowledge that it is an important movie, that the franchise needs it to continue, because like without Age of Ultron, we don't have obviously like Ultron and Vision and Wanda and everything.
Yeah.
And
there was a lot of stuff that happened in the Dark World.
It's like our like real like introduction into like, okay, like we got the Tesseract, and like we got this other stuff, we got the ether, and that's like, oh, joke's on you, it's all Infinity Stones.
Yeah, exactly.
And it turns out the Infinity Stones are fucking important. You know, it's the same kind of thing. It's like in Harry Potter, it's like really sorry, we swore we were gonna stop talking about Harry Potter eventually, but here we are. It's just so easy to compare to things because it borrows from so much. But but like in Chamber of Secrets, it's like, oh, the diary was the thing that like upon which all the other Horcruxes were built. Like, but anyway, back to Darcy. I forgot that's how we got here. And I was like, how do I transition back to our point? What was our point? Right, it was Darcy. Darcy's amazing. I love her so much. She's always been like a bright spot in, I mean, Thor's a pretty good franchise. Thor was one of the first movies I liked, but like Darcy in particular is a bright spot in the franchise.
Darcy was really great.
Yeah.
I really like her.
And her return in WandaVision has been amazing. She's proven herself to just like, she like totally changed her area of study based on the events she experienced in the Thor franchise, and like she's super smart, and like she's like assertive, and I love her so much. She has a great character entrance in the last episode of WandaVision, as I already mentioned.
Yeah,
I'm very excited.
Just when I was like, where's Darcy? Is she okay? Where is she? And bam, she was here.
If they don't keep her in for more, now that like Kate, I forgot her last name, Kat
Dennings, is it?
Kat Dennings, yeah. That's the word. And now that she's not doing Two Broke Girls, I would hope that she's in this more. Yeah. Because I would love to see Darcy on a consistent basis.
Yeah, honestly, as we've been saying, her and Jimmy Woo need their own.
Yeah.
I would like to inject Louise from Ant-Man with them.
Oh my god.
What a trio that would be.
I mean, Jimmy and Louis already know each other, so...
Exactly. So it works.
Michael Penne is so freaking hilarious. I love that man.
That's who I honestly want. I want a WandaVision type show where, like, instead of a previously, the whole show was a previously on, except for like 5 minutes.
And it's him just explaining it.
Or it's like it's one of those shows where everything's narrated, and it's like Louis narrating it as it's happening, like every week.
Absolutely.
But then it's Darcy and Jimmy. Like,
oh my god.
I am his strict gold. Honestly, Marvel called it.
Marvel, please listen to this. Like, come on now. This is quality content. This is content that people want to see.
So it's Jimmy and Darcy. They're following up on the events of WandaVision, or whatever the next crisis is in the MCU.
Yeah.
But it's like styled like a TV show, maybe like a buddy cop. Yeah. But then like every step is narrated by Louise.
Oh my god.
Oh my! I support.
Kind of like how Drunk History is. You know how I was talking about Drunk History?
Yeah.
And like someone gets a text message and that works its way into the dialogue. I want that. That's what I want. Marvel, fucking slide into my DMs. I've struck gold here. I should be making big bucks on this.
Honestly, write a pitch, send it to Marvel, bro. Seriously. Do it.
Oh, I support.
Honestly.
Oh, I love it. Is there anything else we want to talk about her before we talk about...
No, she's just so smart, and, like, I love her. Honestly, watch WandaVision just for Darcy.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Start at episode 3 or 4, wherever it is that Darcy shows up, and, like...
I think it's 4.
Don't really, because, WandaVision...
It's only 9 episodes. You can watch all of them and enjoy thoroughly.
But yeah, Darcy's one of my favorite things about WandaVision so far. Me too. And I was just so excited she was back. I wasn't expecting her.
Same. It was a good turn of events. I'm happy she came back. I wasn't expecting it, but I'm happy she's there because she's good comic relief.
I hope that this is a trend in all of these all these WandaVision style shows that Marvel's doing. Same with like Captain America and Winter Soldier. Like I hope that it's just an excuse to bring back all these like side characters.
Yes.
Oh, totally.
I really hope
and get all these little bits and pieces. Like, I think one of my favorite things about, like, WandaVision is it's, like, so immediately after the snap. Like, we went from Endgame to Spider-Man Far From Home, and 8 months had gone by, and we're like, I'm sorry, I haven't adjusted it either. Whereas WandaVision was like, oh, like, we saw people coming back. Like, I think it's so dumb that they decided to, in canon, call it the blip.
Yeah.
The snap is so
like,
much better.
All things. Like, of all things.
The snap was right there and way better.
Yeah.
Who would... I know a lot of the people in the MCU we know got snapped, but like some people from their like press team must have still been alive. Why weren't they all over that shit? Honestly, the blip, it sounds so dumb. Snapped is better.
Somebody who was working at Avengers Tower must have, like, there had to have been some sort of PR around that.
Fucking Nat couldn't have done this, like,
right?
Who knows?
Honestly,
I can't.
Fucking Pepper wasn't all over that shit. It's literally what Pepper does.
Yeah,
that is so true.
It's her thing.
What is Pepper's job if not press for Tony Stark and Associates? Honestly.
Okay,
we need to move on. We need to move
sorry.
on. The Wasp and Miss Hope. I love her so much.
Yeah, we already talked a bit about her, but...
Yeah, we already talked most of what we wanted to say, but acknowledge her existence once again.
I love her. I want Scott and Hope and Cassie to just be a little family.
Me too.
Forever.
Same.
Yeah. I'm really sad that Cassie... I mean, obviously I'm glad that she was okay, but I'm sad that she aged 5 years without her dad. Because little Cassie was one of my favorite characters. She was one of the best children in the MCU.
Very true.
I really, like, again, I feel like I'm not going to talk a little bit too much. Actually, my notes on her aren't that extensive. But I really enjoyed her in the movies. I think she's a very strong, independent character. And
I think she's a real, like, independence from Ant-Man.
Yeah,
nice.
for sure.
I support.
In the like even in the show, she was kind of like her own, like in the cartoon, she was her own kind of like person, but they are definitely Hope and Scott. I wrote down his name. I wrote down Scott Lang. You know, they have the perfect dynamic because
I think they're so good together.
She can't grow big. Right?
Yeah.
That's the she can only go small, and she has wings. So like she's like the perfect additive to Scott's character.
Yeah, their powers really balance each other, their personalities really balance each other. Like, she's like the smart, like, this is how all the technology works. He's just like, this thing goes in this thing, and then I get big. Like,
she's smart and logical and like calm-headed most of the time. Scott's the himbo who just
and that's fine. That's just how he is. I mean, Scott, he pulled through when it mattered. He had a good brain thought when it mattered.
Yes,
he slammed those two brain cells together full force.
He has his moments, but they're definitely a perfect. They are the dynamic.
Their scenes in the Endgame fight were good. I wish we had more of them, but like they were like totally like they have a really symbiotic fighting style, like so good.
Yes,
they
I really respect it.
Dynamic duo.
I absolutely love it. We want to talk about Monica Rambeau and just bring it back to WandaVision once again.
Because...
Yes.
Yeah, I'm so excited to see. I think that her character's going big places. I am excited. I know in the comics, Monica has a stint as Photon and as Captain Marvel. So I'm really excited to see. She takes both names at different points. She much like Steve is like really attached to the organization in which she is associated with, like based on like her origin. So like also I think it's so funny that like we're just now finding out about Sword.
Yeah.
Right?
Like where did that come from?
Also Sword and Shield is very funny, but apparently they've been around for a while. But I love Monica's character. I really liked her character. Like she was a little girl in Captain Marvel, but she was really good.
Yeah.
Again, another good child performance in the MCU. But now she's an adult, and I think she's a really great character. She's really good in WandaVision. I'm really excited to see what they're going to do with her, and it does seem like she's going to have her own something. She's going to pop up somewhere.
Yeah.
I really hope she does, because I think that can develop into something a lot more. I think she has a lot of potential. And if she doesn't get, like, at least, like, her own spin-off show, I think she's going to be alongside Wanda, because she was... And again, like, I don't know if this is, like, spoilers. I don't know if you guys are, like, gonna edit this or whatever. Well, you guys do editing. Anyways,
by the time this comes out, WandaVision will have been out for a few weeks, like...
Yeah, that's true. But I'm just thinking about, like, what part in the show... Because it was pretty late in the show where, like, she was walking through she went through the wall.
Yes.
And like those powers activated. I don't know much about her character other than the fact that she basically kind of deflected Wanda's powers in that one scene. I think, she, like, Wanda tossed her, but she wasn't, like, horribly damaged, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be interesting to see. What I was going to get at this whole time was, I'm just really excited to see where, like, her powers are going to ultimately take her, and I think she's going to end up alongside Wanda, which is going to be really cool. Like, I think Wanda needs the backup.
I'm very excited. Yeah, I think I don't know who's coming to Wanda's aid, but I think she wants to go it alone right now, and I think she needs the help.
yeah, for sure. I definitely think if there's going to be one person that Wanda's like, oh crap, I do actually need help, it's gonna be like she'll call Monica.
It seems like Monica and Jimmy have also formed a really strong friendship. Mm-hmm. So I hope that wherever she ends up, Jimmy and Darcy follow.
We need to continue that crew through.
Yeah, I think that's the crew I want to see.
Absolutely.
And then definitely where the show left off is good. I think. Mm-hmm. I think we're I don't know where we're gonna see Monica again, but we know we're gonna see her again somewhere.
Absolutely.
And she's got things coming for her.
Good.
I really like what they've done so far. Yeah. I'm so excited to see her in more stuff.
Same.
And we're going to skip over to the Spider-Man universe and talk about MJ. Michelle Jones.
I have so much to say. MJ is one of my favorite characters. This MJ in particular.
I love Zendaya, and then I love MJ, so combined,
obviously Zendaya was already a queen before she arrived here in the MCU. Exactly. But I think that MJ is one of the best like new characters in the MCU. This is a character who's been previously portrayed by mostly like white redheads, so I think it's really easy and fun to make this character like a black woman. Yeah. I love this, and also she's the most relatable character for me.
Accurate.
She's not just here to be a love interest to Spider-Man, which of course she is. But, like, I mean, she's just a teenager, so it's hard. She's not like she's, like, got a whole ton going on, but she's, like, super duper smart. She's the leader of her school's academic decathlon team, which is, like, big deal. That's smart. And, like, she doesn't care what anybody thinks about her socially. She's, like, she just doesn't care. She's just, like, people think I'm weird, and I'm not even gonna try. I'm gonna lean into it. Like, I like what I like, and that's fun. Peter gets her this, like, glass pendant necklace that looks like a Black Dahlia, which he knows MJ is gonna like because of the Black Dahlia murder, and, like, same, bro. I have never related to a character so much. Honestly, I don't think you should. I think that's a borderline thing to put in a movie because it does sort of fetishize a murder. But I think that, like, it's totally fine to normalize liking true crime and being interested in true crime, and, like, I really enjoy that so much. And then, like, it gets broken in the fight with Mysterio before he gives it to her, and she's just like, I think it's better broken, and that's just, like, so fun and cute, and she's just, like, cool, and she enjoys being dark and weird on purpose, and, I love her so much.
Me too. I would like to see her interact with, like, more characters. Like, if they get to bring her into the rest of the universe, that would be great.
She can come in the buddy cop. Darcy and MJ seem like they would get along. I'm just saying, she can come for the ride. I'll write her in somewhere.
I absolutely love her character, and seeing like teenagers portrayed as actually more than two-dimensional characters.
Yeah, I think teenagers in the Spider-Man movies are so good.
Yeah, like they don't have superpowers, but they actually have personalities. And I'm so excited for like all of the extra people in those movies.
Honestly, Spider-Man Far From Home was such a good movie. It was like teenage relationships and like teenagers just being teenagers and like big moral questions and just like MJ when she was like, "You're Spider-Man, I figured it out." Yes, and she's like she's so into it.
Exactly. I love that.
I really like MJ. Sorry, just really quick. I hope she ends up getting a suit. I hope she ends up.
That would be so fun. I hope that Peter makes her a suit, a la like Tony built like Pepper a suit. Like I hope he's just like, if you want to hang out with me, you need a suit.
Please. But also that end credit scene though, because now everyone knows that that Spider-Man is Peter Parker. So now I'm like, oh my god, what's gonna happen to Peter? But I
mean, Tony never had a suit like a superhero identity
until he kept it concealed until the end of the first Iron Man movie.
But then from then on, everybody's known who he was. So I think
he's a teenager though.
Yeah, he's a teenager.
He's a child.
Yeah.
It's rough. It's going to be hard for him.
I'm really excited because I think, now that Deadpool is now confirmed going to be part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, I'm really excited to see what they do with the Spider-Man multiverse, and I hope MJ just becomes Spider-Gwen. I hope she gets I hope she becomes part of the multiverse. I
loved in Far From Home when Peter was introduced to the idea that there might be a multiverse, and he was so excited. Into the Spider-Verse is such a good Spider-Man movie, and I want Spider-Gwen, I want all of it,
Same.
I need it. I need it to happen.
Absolutely. Okay, so Lady Sif, do we want to talk about her? Did I pronounce her name right?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. I was the one who recommended the last two. I think they cut her off, bro.
They did, honestly. We did not get a chance to know much about her. She's Thor's main warrior friend. It's Thor and Lady Sif, and then their other friends, and be kicking ass.
Exactly.
She was so loyal to Thor, and I think that says a lot. Especially in the first movie, that whole dynamic he had with his team. It was really good. She's super loyal, she's super headstrong, and she's kind of like Okoye, where she was, very much for her country, for her people.
Yeah.
And
so
Lisa is very devoted to that. And I also, she was also, could have been an interesting love
interest
character.
for Thor, yeah.
Love, yeah.
I just look at it, it's Lady Sif and the Warriors 3, right? The other warriors are dudes. They don't get names. It's just her.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, that's something I meant to mention with the MCU's interpretation of Okoye and the other Dora Milaje. In the comics, they're all supposed to be they're all obviously warriors, but they're also the most eligible women for which Black Panther to get engaged to.
Oh.
And the franchise was just we decided to just not do that. We don't need it.
I support that.
Yeah, and I just thought that was a really good thing.
Yeah.
I think it's nice that they live in a society where they only the warrior women are super eligible to be, which is, I guess, makes sense because they're going to be the queen. But I also like that they just decided not to do that storyline. I think that's not necessary.
For sure, absolutely.
And it would have been so interesting if Lady Sif had ended up as a love interest for Thor, but I also think it's fun they had sort of a sibling type dynamic as well.
Yeah.
Different from his Thor Loki sibling dynamic.
Because I know what was it? Was it in the second movie? I think all of his buddies ended up getting killed.
Yeah.
I just assumed that she ended up dying too, but she wasn't even in the second movie.
Nope, she was just absent.
She just blooped. Was she blooped beforehand? I don't
even know. I don't even remember. It's been so long since I watched any of them.
I know.
Yeah, I need to go back and rewatch a lot of them.
No, but I did remember really liking her, even though it's been a really long time since. I don't remember much about her character, gonna be honest.
That's fair.
Yeah. Okay. And Frigga. Do we want to talk about her next?
Yes. I hadn't even thought to put her on the list until Lila suggested it.
Yeah.
But she's actually a super important character in the MCU.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Thor and Loki, honestly, both get so much from their, mother. In terms of character development. I think she's really important, and I totally felt bad that I forgot to put her on this list. There aren't a lot of mothers in the MCU.
No.
That's the thing with superhero movies. It's kind of a thing. All the girlfriend and mom characters get killed off. They get fridged.
Yeah.
I mean, and Frigga's not different necessarily. But obviously, Loki has a pretty difficult family relationship all around. Most of the family, but not his mom. He has a really deep emotional connection with their mom. And Thor also has a really deep emotional connection with their mom. It's the one thing that they fully 100% agree on.
Yeah.
And I think she shaped a lot of who both those characters are.
Yeah, and I really support that. I really like her as a character.
Yeah, y'all kind of literally said exactly what I wrote in my notes.
Honestly, Again, another character I was never expecting to make a return, but she made a return in Endgame when we were talking
I'm so
about
happy she did.
Me too. I'm so glad.
Yeah.
It was such a good moment. Thor had a moment
Thor
with his
needed
mom.
it.
He needed it.
He needed it. I
He
wish
had this-
Loki got that moment though.
Honestly.
as well.
True.
Poor guy.
Honestly, Loki. But yeah, so I think that moment was really important, and I wasn't expecting to see her back ever, and I didn't really think of her that much. I was like, oh, like, everybody's dead in your life, and that sucks. Oh, you get another moment with your mom, like, one more moment, and she knows that things have gone so badly for him, like,
Yeah.
oh man, it was really touching, and I think it was a really important moment for Thor rallying at the end and not just like giving up and dying when things got tough a little bit later on.
Absolutely.
He came back down from whatever he was dealing with and trying to process. Like he really
he needed that little push to get like started in the process of healing. Like he was in this like depression that like just wasn't ending, and like I think honestly I think if he hadn't had that moment with his mom, like when like the whole like compound got brought down, I think he just would have gave up. Like I don't think he would have been able to do it.
No.
Yeah, no.
That's fair.
I don't think he would have been able to either.
So yeah, unexpectedly strong character moment from
Exactly.
Thor's mom, honestly.
We stand the mom characters in the MCU. They
absolutely.
they add so much character. They're very important characters, even though they aren't on screen for very long.
Yeah. And our last, like, fully other, Lila has a couple more she's going to talk about, I think, but our last fully other is Jane.
She's a very smart lady who plays that damsel in distress role. It's such a shame. And when she touched the rock, she touched the rock. It's like, have you never seen a horror movie before?
It was for science. So everybody on this podcast is watching Supernatural right now because I made everybody. And so we're getting a real lesson in the dangers of horror movie tropes. But yeah, Jane touched that rock, and it was for science. I'm really excited. Natalie Portman's back in the MCU in Thor 11.
She's gonna be in Thor Love and Thunder.
Yeah, she's gonna be like female Thor or something like that. Like I guess
is back.
I support.
I guess maybe if she can lift the hammer, then she gets the powers of Thor, and so that's how that works, right? So I guess if she can do that somehow.
Yeah,
I assume
that means that there's like 3 women around now. Unless she acquires Mjolnir, then that means that there's like a third one.
Yeah,
there's Stormbreaker, then there's Mjolnir. I don't know. There's too many.
I think that my theory. I don't know anything about the comics. I don't know anything about Thor: Love and Thunder comics era. So just totally off the cuff, based on my assumptions of how things are gonna go in the next few years in the MCU, I'm gonna say Loki's running around with an Infinity Stone, just unchecked. No one even knows that he's running around with an Infinity Stone.
Okay.
Literally, no one's even concerned because no one actually has realized that this is a thing. Because it's like an alternate universe type situation.
Okay.
Based on how they've explained time travel to work in the MCU. Because Captain America put all the Infinity Stones back, but they never put this one back because they never had it.
Yeah.
So they just fucked up the whole timeline. And Loki's out there running. He has his own TV show. I think somewhere along the way he's gonna run into a past Thor and a past Jane or something. I think it's gonna be something to do with the Loki show.
Yeah,
is my theory as to how this is going to come about, or maybe something in Guardians Volume 3, or Thor 4, more Thor.
If it's not called that, I'm gonna riot.
Honestly, Brooklyn Nine-Nine handed that to you, Marvel. Honestly, so yeah, I don't know. Somewhere in there, one of these OG Thor characters, I think, is gonna run into like a past Jane somehow.
I can see that.
Okay.
Something is going. I don't know, but anyway, I'm excited that she's going to be back and hopefully have a chance to not be in this damsel in distress role.
Yeah, same.
I want her to pick up the hammer so bad. Again, I think that we should have another like Age of Ultron style party night where everyone just tries to pick up the hammer.
No. I agree.
I support.
I fully think that Wanda and Captain Marvel can both do it. So.
Oh, absolutely.
I think Nat could too. Nat never tried, even though she was present at that party.
I want to see if old Steve can still pick it up, though.
Honestly, I think that he could have literally up until the moment he decided to stay with Peggy. I think his decision to stay with Peggy has ruined him.
Yep, I agree.
That's fair.
I want to see if anyone who couldn't before now can too.
Yeah.
I want to see if White Vision can pick it up.
Ooh.
That's a great. Oh, that's
We've gone so far off the rails. Honestly, we said this like I think last week or the week before, but honestly, throw me all of your Marvel theories. Like
absolutely all of them.
Tell me which comics I need to read. I'm going to be graduating school hopefully in the next couple months, and honestly, this podcast will be the only thing aside from work that I'll have going for me. So
more things.
Yeah.
No, I support. Okay, so we're gonna hand it over to Lila now to talk about the X-Men universe for a bit, because neither KJ or I have seen it.
Okay, so it's been a really long time since I've seen, like, especially like the OG X-Men movies, like with Hugh Jackman as Wolverine and stuff like that. But there were two women that I specifically wanted to talk about that I think deserve more, who deserve more screen time. Specifically Storm, because I really like...
Is that Jennifer Lawrence?
No. Storm was played by Halle Berry.
Okay.
In the original X-Men movies, Jennifer Lawrence plays Mystique.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's a lot of other stuff with Mystique. Actually, I technically could talk about Mystique too, but I really
want to focus.
Like Halle Berry's. Yeah, I really like Halle Berry's performance as Storm, and a lot of people hated it. And like,
is she a good person or a bad person?
She's a good person. She's part of the X-Men.
Okay, yeah.
So the reason why people didn't like Halle Berry's portrayal of Storm was because the way that Storm was written, it personally, in my opinion, has nothing to do with Halle Berry. It was just so drastically different from how the comic books were.
Okay, so they've like rebooted her character a little extremely.
Yeah, Storm was in the comic books was like a more of a leader person, where she would like take the reins on like, okay, like we're gonna go do this, and everybody was like, okay, yeah, like we trust her. But in the movie, it was other people like Cyclops who were like, yeah, we're gonna go do this, and Storm was like, oh, okay, like, you know, like a lot of people had an issue with that. I just think she has a lot more potential as a character, and I think she deserves a little bit more screen time. And with the newer X-Men movies, so like Days of Future Past and stuff like that, you get to see the younger version of all these characters, and I think it's really going to open up some doors. So I'm super excited for that. So for just a little bit of context, I'm really not following my notes. I'm kind of just spewing out what's on my mind at the moment.
That's how we do it here.
So going back to my notes, so she has the ability to manipulate the weather. A lot of the times you're going to see her like literally like striking people down with like lightning and stuff like that. It's really cool. 10 out of 10.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
And again, a lot of people didn't like her portrayal as Storm, but I really liked it. Again, like I never read the comics, but like after extensive research, I get why people didn't like it. I just really like how, because I know Halle Berry's a good actress, she's an amazing actress, it's just the way that she was written. But I think at the end of the day, she did a really great job, and I really want to have more backstory, because I believe there's a timeline where Storm is actually married to Black Panther in the comic books.
Oh, that's
interesting.
Yeah. There's a timeline where that happens. So again, I just want to
petition for Shuri and
for Shuri
to be gay. Oh my god, I want it so badly.
It's but yeah, I think she deserves more of a moment, and I hope she gets it with this new addition to having the young X-Men around. And the second person I wanted to talk about was Jean Grey, or Dr. Jean Grey. Her name like is literally just like Jean Grey, but she also, over the course of the movies and in the comic books, she's also turns into the Phoenix Force, which is this god kind of like spirit, and it like possesses Jean, so she becomes the physical manifestation of the spirit. So Jean's original powers before she ever gets possessed by the spirit, she is a telepath with telekinesis. Professor X, who is the person who runs like the school for, you know, all these mutant kids, she's basically like his pupil, because Professor Xavier is also a telepath, and they have a very, very strong bond. Jean Grey is also one of Wolverine's love interests. However, Jean Grey in the movies and in the comic books is married to Cyclops. I just think Jean Grey is an amazing character. She's a super strong, independent woman who is like literally, she has so much power. She's like Captain Marvel. She's like literally so overpowered. And again, if anybody's gonna have that power, I'm happy it's her.
I love that.
And then you have her rendition into the Phoenix, which she like, it amplifies her powers. I literally wrote it down here because I was never sure like what exactly it did. So when she becomes the Phoenix, she's able to manipulate matter and like is literally immortal when like after this spirit possesses her. Like she can't die. And I think that's again overpowered. I don't know how you guys mentioned you haven't seen the X-Men movies, but have you heard the controversy over like Dark Phoenix and like how everybody hated it?
Bits and pieces, but don't really understand it. No context for it.
Yeah. I understand why people didn't like it. I personally didn't have a problem with it. I thought it was a really good spectacle, and again, like you kind of have to like watch the previous X-Men movies, and I don't have enough time to go through and debunk all of that. But I thought it was a really good movie. I think it might have just been a writing issue that people had, because I think, and I forget her name, I can't believe I didn't write it down, but the lady who actually like portrays young Jean Grey, I think she did a really great job, and she ends up.
Is that Sophie Turner from Game of Thrones?
I haven't seen Game of Thrones. I wouldn't be able to tell you, so I really don't know. There's a lot of stuff that I need to watch that I'm like out of the realm on.
Yes, it is.
She's a super good actress.
It is her?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. I think...
Anyways, I think it is. Yeah.
Yeah,
she was so good in Game of Thrones. Sophie Turner is really good.
I think she did really great in these newer X-Men movies. I think she was awesome. Yeah, she's a really great character, and in this new movie, I think people were just taken aback by the fact that she didn't leave X-Men, because I know in the original, I think it was in the original movie. I haven't seen these movies in so long. I probably should have rewatched the scene, but I think she ends up leaving the X-Men because she becomes a Dark Phoenix, and the spirit just wanders away with her body. Yeah. But in the new movie, she ends up controlling the power, I'm pretty sure, from what I remember. So I think people just had an issue with the writing, not so much as the character, but a lot of people were bashing on this movie. I'm like, bro, calm down. It was great.
That is one thing about Marvel, is the fans get intense no matter what the situation is.
Yeah, I think it's like that with every superhero movie though. Just because it's not to the comics.
Tensions are high.
Yeah. With every movie. Those two characters I really like from the X-Men universe, and I'm sad I completely forgot about Mystique, but Mystique is also a very interesting hero / villain. She kind of plays that Loki role where she's good at some points, but she's also giving you the backhand at at others. She's also a very interesting mutant where she's a shapeshifter. But yeah, those women are 10 out of 10. I really enjoy the X-Men franchise. I would 10 out of 10 recommend you guys watching it and taking some time to watch it. You might cringe a little bit, because some of them are definitely cringy, but I think they're a good set of movies to watch.
That is fantastic.
That's amazing. Yeah, maybe I need to invest some time in X-Men when I find some of that.
Thank you for letting me go off there for a moment.
No, we appreciate it. That's why we want to have guests, because guests know things that we don't know.
Exactly.
We don't really know that much, to be honest.
It's all the same, honestly.
Combine knowledge. That's how you get smarter.
Yep, that is true. That is very true.
We have a couple questions that I made that we just want to talk about a little bit and discuss, and we want to talk about how women are seen for loving superheroes, and what it's like to not necessarily be respected as much for loving these movies or comics.
Yeah, we definitely touched on this a little bit.
Yeah, definitely already talked about this a bit.
I took this also in a bit of the fandom direction in general.
Yes, for sure.
For example, the Captain Marvel movie started receiving bad reviews months before the movie even came out.
Yep.
And then it went on to make over $1 billion in the box office. It was huge in the box office. But all these men were just so mad about Brie Larson. And a lot of the issues with Captain Marvel as a film aren't with the film at all. It's with Brie Larson as an actress. And it's literally just people being butthurt, because literally the source, from what I understand, I went down a Google rabbit hole last night of this, is that Brie Larson said that her press releases were mostly white men, and she's just made a comment that she's going to be trying to diversify the people in which she's engaging in the press with. She wants press releases that are done with people of color and women and literally people that aren't just white men.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden every white man in the fandom took that as a personal insult. Are you a press releaser? No, you're not. Go away. She wasn't talking about you.
Exactly.
And they just started bombing these movies. I'm I mean, obviously the movie didn't suffer, but when you Google female Marvel fans, the people always search for questions are pretty bad.
Oh.
So if you Google female Marvel fans, then it comes up with some results, and then people also search for questions are: who is the hottest female Marvel character? Who is the strongest female superhero in Marvel? Who is the weakest female Avenger? And who is the hottest Marvel superhero? So yeah, 3 of those 4 are like weakness or like attractiveness. Like they're not about
No.
anyone in particular as a person. And I Google female Marvel fans. It's nothing about fans. It's like literally all about like actual characters in the MCU. But like yeah, like that's the lens through which we're looking at these female characters. It's like who's hot.
Yeah. Oh, it's so gross.
It really is.
I mean, it is disgusting, but like also you have to take into account that majority of the audience that these movies are marketed towards are males. Like,
I think that's true to an extent, but I don't think it's as big of a divide as we think it is.
No,
I also don't think it is. I also don't think it is. But I think the women who are fans don't give enough a shit about like posting reviews, and they're just like, yeah, like I enjoy the movie. Like they just don't care as much. Like I, as a Marvel fan and like as a DC fan, I don't care. Like I don't care what anybody thinks. Like I have my own opinions. Like I like could care less what anybody else thinks. I think men are just a little bit like it's just the way that like we're raised in society, which I could have like a whole conversation.
Yeah.
I'm not going to dive too in depth about it.
Yeah.
But that's more of a, we were raised in that time, this time where
there's a lot of gatekeeping in the fandom.
Yeah. That's the word for it. That is the word for it.
Like it's like Moira said, like people, not all the time, obviously, but a lot of times, you know, they're like, oh, you're a fan of Marvel. Like, you have to prove that you're a fan, you know?
Yeah.
Because you're a woman.
Have to prove shit.
No, like, if you like exactly one movie, if you like exactly one movie from this, then you can consider yourself a Marvel fan. Like, you don't have to adore the entire, like, 20-some movies.
Yeah.
And, like,
that's
TV
a big
shows
time commitment.
You just gotta like it. You just gotta enjoy it.
Also, women are allowed to just like something without, you know, having to, you know more about it than fucking you do.
Yeah.
But it's just, it's this thing. I think we see it in video games a lot too. It's like the men who like these things maybe have been victims in the past. But it's not a thing to be like, it's not like, you know, it used to be nerdy to like superheroes and video games and like fantasy novels. That stuff's all mainstream shit now. Everybody fucking likes it.
Like, just
you don't get to keep playing a victim about it and say that, oh, like women don't like you because you're into this stuff. No, women don't like you because you're being an asshole about it. We like the same shit.
Exactly.
Obviously, bullying is a serious thing, and if you're being bullied, that's really awful, and I don't wish that on you. But like, superheroes shit is mainstream shit. You shouldn't get bullied for anything that you like, regardless of what it is. I'm just saying that this is a mainstream thing that everybody likes now.
I wish people could just get over it and they can hold their tongue, but a lot of the times people can't, and that's why me personally, I've just grown accustomed to just not caring. Like I'll say something like, well, you can disagree, and I'm like, what are you gonna do? Like, go fucking cry about it. Like, I don't care. Like, it's, again, like, everyone's different and everyone should learn to keep their mouth shut, but just the reality that nobody ever
the internet is such a loud place.
And trolls will be trolls. It's just a matter of trying to scroll past it, but I do think people just need to realize that, like, you really shouldn't say mean shit.
Especially, like, obviously it didn't hurt Captain Marvel any that these people were taking the reviews. But, like, people were taking the reviews and the movie wasn't even out yet. Like, hold on for 2 minutes. What if it's really good? And it ended up being pretty good. So
it was actually a really good movie. So
like, literally at the end of the day, they still made billions at the box office. They still met their goal.
Exactly.
Like you're contributing.
It happened. You did nothing.
By you being an asshole, you're still adding to their mission, like to their goal. So whatever.
Just go rewatch one of the movies you do like. If
like, you don't have to spread the hate.
Exactly. I also want to talk about like the experience of watching these women as they're dressed in these not necessarily covering outfits, and like they're sometimes more revealing than they should be, and what that's like and stuff.
This is something I didn't think about much in the MCU. I thought about it a lot in the DC movies, but not a lot in the MCU until WandaVision. And I saw that Elizabeth Olsen said that she wanted Wanda to be a little bit more covered. And I was like, Wanda's pretty conservatively dressed. She's wearing like stuff I would wear, and I'm definitely not flaunting much.
Infinity War, she had like her whole chest was kind of open.
Yeah, I totally never even noticed until Elizabeth Olsen was like, "Excuse me, could we please put a shirt on this?"
Like,
and I was like, went back and watched it. I was like, "Oh damn, her boobs be out."
yeah.
Like, I don't get the point. Like, from logically speaking, like, if you're a superhero, don't you want to cover up as much as possible while still having some flexibility? Because, like, if you get hit, then you're screwed.
Literally.
Also, it's not like she like suited up. Like, she's not wearing like armor. Like, that's just like a regular shirt. Can we get her if she's gonna wear a t-shirt into battle? Can we get her a t-shirt that is like cut like a regular t-shirt?
Yeah, literally.
Like, Okoye had a good cover up. Like, she had armor. I think that was it Endgame or Infinity War? She had like her chest was covered because normally in the past like two Avengers movies, like her suit was zipped down a little bit. Like, just thinking logically, I'm like, you would want to cover up, right? Like, so you in case you do get some sort of wound, it won't be as dramatic.
Yeah, the middle part of you is where all of the organs are.
Yeah,
so you kind of want to cover that.
I mean, I think that, honestly, personally, my preference is either to be wearing absolutely nothing or to be wearing fucking armor. I don't think that a t-shirt is much cover from a spear. And I think that if a piece of your t-shirt is in your wound, I think that makes it worse, honestly. But honestly, that's not a reason not to have a correctly fitting t-shirt on. If that's all you're wearing into battle, it should fucking fit. If I'm getting stabbed, I don't want my t-shirt in there as well. Like, I'll just skip that part of the infection.
Just no thank you.
But, you know, given the choice of, like, having my boobs out or in, I want them in. What if that thing pops out in the middle of a battle? I don't have time to deal with that. I'm going to stop and put it back in.
It may cause a good distraction and you might get a few seconds on them, but you know what? Still uncomfortable.
I think the seconds I have to stop to stick it back in my shirt.
Fair enough.
Exactly. It's so, like, interesting. And, like, in the preview, is the word that I'm looking for Black Widow, we see her with her hair up and tied back.
Yeah, that's kind of
nice. What a concept.
Nice,
like, that's just, how are you not, like, dying with it falling in your face? Like,
her hair
I do that walking up the stairs.
Nat's hair game really got better as time went on. Like, they cut her hair short for a few years, and then she had it up in Endgame. It was braided, it was out of the way. It was good.
Like, actual functionality.
Yeah, Hope had her hair up as well,
Functionality,
It turns out that fighting with these big curls flying around in your face is not convenient.
Literally.
It's all for visual appeal.
Yeah. Also, like, Carol's uniform is, like, one of, like, the best ones that we've seen so far.
Yeah, even Faith commented on that. With, like,
literally. Like, she talked about this already, and it's, like, form-fitting without, like, being skin tight and stuff. But I learned last night that they edited her stomach to be slimmer in, like, some of the scenes. And I'm like, for real,
Can we just not? Honestly, Brie Larson is one of the most fit human beings.
Literally.
That's just how stomachs look, okay? There's fucking organs in there.
Yeah, we literally have organs that make our stomachs stick out because of, like, seriously, come on.
Honestly.
Damn.
No, I was so angry.
She's like so strong. Brie Larson bulked up to do the Captain Marvel movies.
Yeah.
Like, she was like...
She looked fantastic.
She's like, you're gonna let Tom Holland, little tiny twig Tom Holland, do his own stunts? Fuck, I'm doing my own stunts too.
Exactly.
Honestly.
Her and Scarlett Johansson doing their own stunts is peak.
Honestly.
Yeah.
That actually makes me upset. I did not know that had been done. That's upsetting.
No, I found that out at like 2 a.m. this morning and I was so angry.
I would never sleep again.
Fueling me. I was very angry.
I haven't spent a lot of time, honestly, which is weird for me, thinking about how they dress these women. I mean, sometimes I do. Moira and I had a big issue with how Wanda is dressed in Captain America Civil War.
Yeah.
Same.
But then we came to the conclusion that possibly Wanda's just trying out some fashion shit.
Oh,
she's in America she's wearing this outfit. It's like a really long coat with like a short skirt and like thigh-high socks and then like these weird clunky chunky heels. But she was like just making dinner in like alone. It's her and Vision alone. And like they're like they barely even know each other, so it's not like she's not dressed sexy. She's like somewhere between like awkward adult and like schoolgirl and I was like, hang on, wait a minute. She just got to America from like a communist country. what if she's just dressing how she thinks that we dress from TV?
Yeah.
What if she's dressing ridiculous? What if this is a choice? Because as we found out in WandaVision, Wanda's like only real reference for a life in America is like sitcoms and like TV shows. I was like, what if she's just trying some shit? Because there's no reason that she's dressed like that.
No,
that's a good observation.
I'm very interested by that now.
Yeah.
So like Nat is definitely dressed super revealing, but I think that's a part of Nat's character a lot of the time.
Yeah, I can respect it when
it's a character decision. But yeah, I think like this awkward T-shirt that Wanda has in Infinity War and Endgame is bad. I love everything else about the outfit except for that. Like that jacket is so good. Never forget that jacket is Natasha's. And I'm really upset it has seemingly disappeared somewhere over the course of WandaVision. She was wearing it the first time she left the Hex, and then we haven't seen it since. I don't know where it is, but I need it.
I hope it comes back.
Whistle.
Nat was a mentor for you. Do not lose her jacket. It's all we have left for her.
Oh my goodness. So like my last like main question before we go on to our lovely segments is like why gender representation is important and like what impact does it have and like what happens when it's done correctly?
So, see my rant in episode 19 on why LGBTQ representation matters.
Literally.
See episode 8 on Dumb Boy Heroes, where we talked about mostly female sidekick characters and the power of the Black Panther movie. I guess episode 21 as well, where we talked about Shuri. Honestly, see all of our previous episodes where we literally talked about any of this type of representation or superhero characters, because, like, honestly, that's why it matters. Like, like I said, in my mind, Captain Marvel is, like, this perfect movie, even though it's, like, not.
Yeah.
And it still became this, like, deeply divisive movie. If it had been subpar, like, say, Thor Dark World, which we already agreed was not Marvel's best work, or The Incredible Hulk, which many people just choose to ignore entirely, because they have Mark Ruffalo in it, it literally would have set us back so far if this movie had been bad.
Exactly.
Yeah. Like, this movie happens to be good. Perfect is an overstatement, for sure, but it's a good movie overall. Yeah. If it had been bad, it would have been the end of female superhero movies. Like, they would have said, oh, that doesn't sell, and that just would have been it. Like, we literally cannot afford for female hero movies to be poorly written or flawed or do poorly in the box office or anything, because that shuts the door for future female heroes, which is a lot of pressure upon every single movie. Like, the more we have, the less that pressure is going to be, but for now, that's what the pressure is, and it's why we need it.
Yeah.
It's why all these female characters are so, like, overpowered. They almost become Mary Sue characters. Like,
having all of these, like, people who are, like, represented are, like, so important. Like, having the different genders and sexualities and skin color and body types is so important for people to be able to see them on screen. And with the, like, superhero franchises, especially, we have to recognize that, like, white women are always the first to get the representation when we do this. And like we tend to leave behind women of color with the justification that like progress takes time, but like we have to remember that we have to keep like moving forward and keep fighting for these more well-rounded characters, because
honestly,
we don't have enough representation of these characters yet in the slightest.
Aside from the characters that came out of the Black Panther movie, where most of the characters are characters of color, are there any have we mentioned anyone else who wasn't white?
Very few. There's maybe 5 or 6.
Valkyrie, I guess.
Yeah, Valkyrie and MJ.
And MJ, yeah.
And that's Monica. Like they're slowly getting there, but like, where's our Muslim superhero? Where's this beautiful girl who's gonna take on the world?
I'm so excited for. Oh my god, what's her name? The girl. She's cast in Canada. She's from Canada. She's from Toronto. Hang on, I gotta Google.
While she does that, I just wanted to say just the importance of making a good movie that surrounds a female character. I know it's not Marvel, but I don't know if you guys have seen Wonder Woman.
I love that movie.
Yes.
The first Wonder Woman, I haven't seen the new one. I really enjoyed it, and this is what happens when you have women in control of the narrative. You had a women director, women doing all the clothing and stuff like that, and I think Wonder Woman is the best, like, female superhero movie that has come out. I think it is perfect.
Wonder Woman was so good. Yeah,
it was very good. It's not perfect, but it is very good.
It's good. Out of all the Justice League movies, it's far above all the male-led ones.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Okay, so I have 2 things to add now, because when I googled the first answer, it came up was wrong, but it still made me happy in a totally different way.
Okay.
So the person I was looking for was Miss Marvel. Miss Marvel's going to be introduced to the MCU.
Yeah.
And she's going to be played by a Canadian teenager, whose name I can't remember and who didn't come up. But the character is Kamala Khan, and she's canonically Muslim character. She's Marvel's first Muslim character to have her own comic book in the Marvel Comics universe, and she's played by a Canadian actress. But anyway, when I googled Canadian actress MCU, She-Hulk is going to be coming out.
Oh yeah,
and she's going to be portrayed by Tatiana. Oh my god, I can't say her name. Slane, I can't say it. I'm sorry. But anyway, we literally just talked about her in the Canadian episode.
Oh my god.
Because she played all the characters in Orphan Black.
I love her.
So she's a really good actress. Super good. I'm really excited for that. I did not know that that's who had been cast. But I'm so excited. I'm very excited for that. And yeah, Kamala Khan is going to be so good.
That is fantastic.
Very exciting.
Yeah. So we have potential as long as we keep moving in this direction.
Yeah, exactly.
We're doing okay. That is fantastic. So do we have anything else to say before we move on to our end segments?
No, I think that was it for me.
Yeah.
That was a lot.
So do you want to do our love it or lose it, which is like one thing you loved and one thing you'd rather get rid of?
I didn't write them down, so they're just they're from the heart.
Yes.
I'm going to start with my lose it so we can end on my love it. That's something we always forget to try and do. So my lose it is something would probably just be that there are so few of these characters and that there's so much pressure on these characters to be good. I feel like they're getting better. Wanda finally had a chance to be a flawed character.
Yes.
And it was so good. It's been so well received, I think, by the world. If Twitter's any indication how this went over, I'm so excited. And like, if we start getting more characters of color, and I would like to see that from the male characters as well, honestly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Even I think there might be more female characters of color than there are men, and like that's pretty bad.
Yep.
Because we just demonstrated that there aren't that many. My love it is just that we have enough to have this conversation.
Yeah.
And that it is getting better and we are headed in the right direction and that we can just keep heading in the right direction. We can support the projects that do good and we can call out the ones that don't do a good job. We can, dress our characters better. The actresses are able to say, hey, I really like it if you didn't dress my character this way, and it happens. Like, Wanda wore so many sweatpants in WandaVision and it was so good.
Accurate. I love it.
It's like the sweatpants for me, there was multiple different sweatpants happening. And then like I think the 90s overalls were like my two favorite Wanda looks and like amazing. So I'm glad that we're heading in a better direction.
Yeah.
I love that. What about you, Lila?
I guess I'll start with my leave it. This is more of like not necessarily like with like the movies and stuff like that, but if like, people and fans could just learn to agree with others, like not necessarily like accept, that's the word for it. Accept other people's opinions, because like it's all very subjective, right? People just need to relax, and if people could just be nicer to one another, I think everyone would have a nicer experience with these movies and would be more okay and more inclined to enjoy these movies. Because I hear people complaining, it's like, well, not a lot of people are into this stuff. It's like, yeah, because other people are assholes and nobody wants to be part of it. My love it, I love everything. I love it all. I love it all. I would never want to lose it. I love everything so much. I especially love WandaVision. I'm so happy with what they did with the characters, and I just want to see. I can't wait for the second Black Panther. I really want to see what they do with it. I really am excited. Now I'm gonna go rewatch Black Panther after this.
I cannot wait for I assume it's gonna be the second Doctor Strange.
Oh,
that
same.
is where we're gonna get the answers from WandaVision.
Yeah,
or maybe we'll get them in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I don't know.
Let's hope.
I don't know. I hope so, because then we get them sooner.
Exactly.
But yeah, that's it for my take on that.
That's
amazing.
fantastic.
Yeah, it's all good.
So my lose it is like how long it took, and it is still taking to like get representation in all forms. And my love it is these absolutely well-rounded characters that we are getting, and I'm so excited for them. And yeah, that they actually get the chance to be well-rounded characters.
Sorry, something I just want to add, if you were done.
Yeah.
I think I was trying to say this with my Gamora Nebula complaint, but like, I think a part of my thing is like the female characters we are getting now are getting this chance to be well-rounded, and I think sometimes like these male superheroes, they have to be really superhero-y all the time. They don't get this chance to like be emotionally vulnerable as much as you
That's
know,
a good point.
like Thor has a crisis and it's funny. It's honestly funny. They depict it in a way that makes it funny and we all laugh.
That's not fair.
But like Thor was going through a crisis. And like we just had 9 episodes to deal with Wanda's crisis.
Yeah.
And like Thor was going through a not dissimilar crisis and we thought it was funny. And like I honestly I'm not saying that that's bad that it was depicted that way. I'm just saying like we also need to give men space to be vulnerable. Men deal with mental health issues just as much as women, and they have a lot less support, and women don't have great support to begin with. Like
exactly,
men suffer mental health in silence, and I think that if we just let our superheroes get some help a little bit more with that kind of stuff, like every male superhero we know is like got some serious like loss and trauma, and like they all deal with it, but maybe not in like this like thought out, thoughtful kind of way, that some of these female characters are finally getting.
Absolutely.
And I think we need to let them have that too.
I think maybe you guys should add an extra segment to this saying it's to lose it, love it, and then need it. This is a need. I would like to see a little bit more vulnerability, because we got a little bit of that in Endgame from Thor when he was talking to his mom. And I guess we get
so good.
Yeah, I think we get inklings of it with Tony when he talks.
I was just gonna say Tony has some deep struggles.
Yeah, oh my god, poor fucking guy, my god.
Watching Peter and Happy cry in Far From Home too after they lost Tony, these men need help. Honestly, and I think that, like we're so focused on portraying these strong men and these strong women, but like these strong people have deep emotional needs that are not met.
Exactly. That's very true.
Honestly, like they just gaslit Wanda so badly, like maybe we do need another. We need an addition to the segment.
Yeah, new addition. Here we go. Okay, are we ready to move on to randomized ranking?
Yes.
Yes.
Fantastic. So we choose like 5 mainish characters like at random, and then we're gonna rank them. So the characters that we chose this week were Gamora from Guardians of the Galaxy, Captain Marvel / Carol Danvers, and Black Widow / Natasha Romanoff, Nakia from Black Panther, and Wanda Maximoff.
Lila, how about you go first? I'm interested in what you have to say.
So should we go from 5 to 1 or from 1 to 5?
You can choose as long as you tell us.
Okay, so I'm gonna go from 5 to 1. So number 5, I have Captain Marvel. Number 4, I have Gamora. 3, I have Nakia. 2, I have Nat, and 1, I have Wanda.
That's amazing.
a lot of this has to do with character development and my emotional attachment to the characters. Wanda being I am most attached to at the moment. Carol, I like Captain Marvel. Again, I didn't have anything wrong. Like, there was no problem with the movie, in my opinion. I don't know. I just enjoy some other characters more. That's all it is.
That's fair. I'm excited that, like, the longer Captain Marvel exists in the universe, the more they'll have to do with her, I think.
Yeah.
And I think they'll be able to just, like, find, like, a more middle ground where she's not just, like, the thing that comes from the sky and just, like, changes everything.
Like a whole game changer,
Yeah, because, like, it's a lot.
Yeah.
She's amazing and awesome, but like she's almost a little bit too powerful, which like almost makes everyone else kind of not worthwhile having,
Yeah, that's very true.
So I'm hoping they find like a good sweet spot for her, because her like human form / her like person outside of her powers that she portrays is like so good and important, I think, for the MCU to have. But like
Absolutely.
Mine bottom to top as well. My 5 is Gamora from Guardians of the Galaxy. I just sometimes, you know, there's a lot of things I like about the Guardians, but like it's like the fun part of the franchise, and like I enjoy it so much for that. Like if you need a laugh, Guardians is so fun.
It's definitely the comic relief.
But like I'm in the WandaVision like rip my heart out mentality.
Yeah. Accurate.
My 4 I now feel bad about as Nakia, because I actually really like Nakia.
Yeah.
She's my least favorite of the 3 women from Black Panther we talked about, but like that doesn't mean I don't like her.
Yeah.
Like Shuri and Okoye just have a lot more to do, I think, on screen, whereas Nakia's like storylines take place a lot of time off screen. Like I don't think we saw her at all in Infinity War Endgame, which is fine. She was busy, I'm sure, helping other people, but like it just would have been nice to see her or have her contribute.
Yeah.
And then Carol Danvers / Captain Marvel is my number 3. She's amazing, but you know, she's new.
Yeah.
Wanda is my number 2, but it was really close. I love Wanda with like my full heart, honestly.
Yeah.
It's been so good to see the rest of the world. Also, the rest of the world finally remembered that Elizabeth Olsen and the Olsen twins were related.
I completely didn't even realize this until a few weeks ago. And I was like, oh, I'm so stupid.
To be fair, the Olsens' main fame came much before our time.
That is true. Yeah.
And they've kind of left the spotlight for the most part. Like, they're still mega famous, but, like, they're not actively doing acting or anything like that. Like, they're involved in the clothing industry, which unless you're into, like, you don't see anybody from it. You know that they're out there doing fashion stuff, and you might see, like, their name on something, but, like, you don't see them. So just kind of, like, out of sight of mind. And, like, yeah, we weren't old enough to care about their big moments. But, yeah, people finally realized they were related. I think that's amazing. It's been so good to see all the Olsen twins content resurfacing, because also the genetics are strong. Like, they all look so much alike.
Oh, yeah.
And then my number 1 is Natasha. It just has a special place in my heart.
That is very fair.
Please, Marvel, do not ruin her.
Oh my god.
You have this one movie, we're trusting you to make it fucking good. You've had a whole extra year to just be really, really sure it's what you want.
Yep.
Please.
So my list was very difficult to make because 4 of my favorite characters are on this list. So it like could change at any moment, honestly. But for right now, it's number 5 is Gamora, and then number 4 is Captain Marvel, number 3 is Nakia, number 2 is Black Widow, and number 1 is Wanda.
Amazing.
They're all really hard to put against, right? Like, they're all great characters. They're all really good.
I like them.
So good.
Incredible. So our last segment is I would name my kid that. So like the best baby names inspired by that media. So do we have any?
I have 2.
Like? Okay.
One's Natasha. I just really like that name. I like Natasha. I like Natalia, which is one of her other names. I think that's her actual name.
Yes.
I really like the name Danvers. I like those unisex names, and I think Danvers works really good.
For sure.
It is a cross superhero universe name because it's also the last name of Supergirl.
Yeah.
I really gotta wonder about that. Is that intentional? Is there supposed to be crossover there? I need to know what's up with the Danvers family.
I have no idea. I don't even know. Like, maybe it was someone who worked on the comics that they're like, we're gonna use the name.
Yeah. If Supernatural had like a MCU level of like different characters and stuff like that, like they'd be fucked because they name all their characters after producers.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. So anyway, those are the 2 names that I really liked.
What about you, Lila?
Oh, man.
They can be inspired by.
Yeah. I really like Natasha and Natalia. I think those are very pretty names. They just roll off the tongue nice, you know? I really like Wanda.
Wanda's cute.
But when I think of Wanda, I think of
Fairly Odd Parents.
Yeah, I think of Fairly Odd Parents, which isn't bad. Like, I love watching Fairly Odd Parents growing up.
Fairly Odd Parents is honestly one of the best shows.
Yeah, I feel like if I named a kid Wanda, I feel like maybe people our age would just be like, Fairly Odd Parents?
I feel like my brain would just go to Cosmos all the time.
Yeah.
And what's the kid's name? Poof?
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. Throwback.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. I love that.
I don't know. I think it's my top 2 are just Natasha and Natalia, though.
That's cool. We love that.
That is literally mine as well. I was like, I love the name Natalia. That was all I had. So I guess we're done, which means that is our episode for this week. You've been listening to the Series of Opinions podcast. Let us know what you thought about this week's episode. Like, leave us a review. That would really help. Or get in contact with us on social media. Our email is seriesofopinionspod@gmail.com. We are at Series of Opinions Pod on Tumblr and Instagram, and at Series of Opinion with no S on Twitter. You can find me at Moira_Frisk on everything.
You can find me at Miss Faith and across everything, and at Faith and Art for all of my art. And thank you, Lila, so much for being on.
Lila, where can the people find you?
You can find me on Instagram and TikTok at LilBAJ Studios, and you can find my Redbubble at LilBAJ.
Amazing.
Incredible.
You can find me at Life Messes with KJ on all things. And seriously, if you don't think that Captain Marvel or Captain America or Wanda or some of any combination of those two or like Thor could have defeated Thanos without a single Infinity Stone, come for me. Honestly. Fight me. Through the internet, because it's not safe to fight in person.
Incredible.
Thank you to Faith Ebert for our logo. You can find her at Faith and Art. And this episode was written, produced, and recorded by us. It was edited by me, editing KJ, and our guest was Lila. Thank you, Lila. You were so great to have on, and we will definitely be having you back at some point. Next week, we will be having our Host Picks Update, where we update you on some of the shows that we watched a little earlier in the year, which included Supernatural, Money Heist, and One Day at a Time.
Well, bye.
Bye!